The movie opens in Oyster Bay, New York City, in 2007. A young Reed sits in class during a career day presentation, listening as students share ordinary ambitions. When it's his turn, he says he wants to build a teleporter. The class laughs, but his teacher dismisses the idea as unrealistic. After school, Reed's best friend Ben invites him back to his family's junkyard. Reed digs through piles of scrap, searching for parts for his prototype teleportation device. Ben's older brother mocks him, but Ben still helps Reed collect what he needs. Later that night, Reed finishes assembling the machine in his garage. He explains to Ben how it works. It's supposed to move matter from one place to another instantly. They power it on, and the device sparks to life, sucking a model toy car into thin air. Moments later, it reappears, covered in sand and rocks. Ben is stunned, but Reed notes the strange material and realizes the car came back from somewhere else entirely. Years later, Reed and Ben are now high school seniors, still refining the teleporter. At the school science fair, they demonstrate their improved machine to the judges. This time, they teleport a toy plane. It disappears in a flash, then reappears coated in the same foreign dust. The teacher dismisses it again, but one of the judges, Dr. Storm, is intrigued. He tells Reed that what he's built isn't a teleporter, it's an interdimensional travel device. Dr. Storm invites Reed to join the Baxter Foundation, a government-sponsored research facility in New York. Reed accepts and says goodbye to Ben, promising to stay in touch. At the Baxter building, Reed meets Sue, Dr. Storm's adopted daughter, who specializes in pattern recognition and environmental biology. Reed also meets Victor, a brilliant but arrogant scientist who helped design the original version of the interdimensional device but left after clashing with Dr. Storm. Dr. Storm explains that with Reed's help, they can perfect the device and send people to explore the other dimension, a place Victor calls Planet Zero. Elsewhere, Dr. Storm's son Johnny is at a nighttime street race, lined up against two other cars. Engines roar, tires screech, and the race begins. Johnny takes the early lead, weaving between the competitors, but as he pushes his car to the limit, it fishtails. He loses control, crashes hard, and loses the race. Later, at the hospital, Dr. Storm arrives to fetch him. His expression says it all, a mix of disappointment and frustration. In the car, Dr. Storm tells Johnny that he needs to be part of something bigger and makes him a deal. If Johnny still wants his wrecked car repaired, he'll have to work with Reed, Sue, and Victor on their research project, and Johnny reluctantly agrees. Soon, he's in the Baxter building welding parts for the interdimensional device while Reed and Victor sit across the room, running calculations to improve its stability. Elsewhere, Ben arrives home and checks his phone. A text from Reed appears with a photo of the massive nearly finished machine. Ben smiles, proud of what his best friend has achieved. Back at the research facility, Reed and Sue share a quiet laugh over a detail in the design. Victor notices them from across the room, his expression tightening. He walks over, cutting into their conversation. He tells Reed he should be working instead of joking around, but Reed calmly says the machine is complete and asks Sue to show it to Victor. When Victor sees it for himself, he can't hide his admiration, as it's perfect. The next day, Dr. Storm brings in his superiors to witness the first live test. An ape is placed inside the transport pod. The machine powers on, flashing with energy, and the pod vanishes. Moments later, video feeds from cameras on the device confirm the animal is alive and standing in an alien landscape. Excitement ripples through the room, and the ape is brought back safely, proving the planet is habitable. The superiors congratulate them but quickly dampen the celebration, insisting the machine be handed over to NASA for human trials. Reed and the others protest. They built it and believe they should be the first to go, but they're dismissed as the officials leave. That night, Reed calls Ben and tells him to come to the Baxter building immediately. If they move fast, they can be the first humans to travel to another dimension. Ben agrees, but only to make sure Reed stays safe. Later, Ben arrives. The four suit up, step into the transport pods, and lock in their helmets. A voice counts down from 10. In a blinding surge of light, they're pulled from New York and hurled into the alien world of Planet Zero. They awaken in a barren windswept landscape under a green-lit sky. Back at the Baxter building, Sue's monitors flash alerts, warning her that the team has left. She tries to contact them, but there's no response. On Planet Zero, the guys plant an American flag into the rocky ground to mark their achievement, but a low rumble follows. The earth beneath them splits open, glowing cracks spreading in every direction. They follow the fissures until they reach a massive pulsating energy source deep in the terrain. Without warning, the ground erupts in an explosion. Rocks and debris fly as they sprint back toward the pods. Victor stumbles as a surge of strange, liquid-like energy splashes onto him, eating through his suit. He screams in pain before tumbling into the heart of the energy source. Reed tries to reach for him, but another explosion forces them to retreat. Ben, Johnny, and Reed dive into the pods as more of the substance splashes over them. In an instant, the machine pulls them back to the Baxter building. The shockwave from their return rips through the lab, knocking Sue off her feet and bathing her in the same strange energy. The next day, Reed, Sue, Johnny, and Ben are transferred to a more secure laboratory. The mood is tense, the air thick with confusion and fear. The scientists stand behind glass, studying them like rare specimens. Reed's limbs now stretch and bend far beyond normal human range, dangling awkwardly from the bed. Sue's body flickers in and out of visibility, her outline shimmering like heat waves. Johnny's skin glows with a living flame that dances across his body, yet leaves him unharmed. Ben sits motionless, his entire form encased in jagged rock, his breathing slow and heavy. Reed slowly regains full consciousness, disoriented and panicked. Realizing he's strapped to the bed, he forces his elongated limbs to reach the restraints, snapping them open. The others call out to him, but his mind is locked on escape. He drops to the floor, limbs contorting to pull himself into the ventilation shaft. The sound of his body stretching and scraping echoes as he crawls through the ducts. Moments later, he emerges outside under the night sky. Without looking back, he runs into the darkness, leaving his friends behind. Inside the facility, Dr. Storm is confronted by military officials demanding answers. He insists he never authorized the trip to Planet Zero. His superior arrives, more concerned about Reed's escape than the accident itself. Dr. Storm admits he doesn't know where Reed has gone, but believes the boy will eventually return for his friends. For now, he says, Reed is just scared. Later, the same superior visits Ben in his containment area. He promises that they can cure him, return him to his old life, but first, he must help the United States as a soldier. Weighed down by his rocky form and without other options, Ben agrees. 1 year passes. Ben is now deployed in Afghanistan, crushing enemy tanks with his sheer strength and saving lives on the battlefield. Johnny, too, has joined the military, soaring across the skies in bursts of flame. Sue works with the government as well, mastering her invisibility and learning to shield other objects from view. During a demonstration, Johnny flies through the air, destroying a drone before landing in front of army officials. He proudly extinguishes his flames, grinning at his control. Sue, however, is distant. When Johnny approaches, she tells him she refuses to be used as a government weapon and longs for her old life. She walks away, leaving him frustrated. Elsewhere, Ben's attitude has soured. The military uses him relentlessly but has made no move to restore him. Dr. Storm approaches Sue in private, asking her to help find Reed. He believes Reed is the only one smart enough to understand what happened to them and possibly reverse it. Sue agrees, combing through the lab's computer system. Tracing an IP address in Panama tied to advanced scientific purchases, she is certain it's Reed. In Panama, Reed lives under a new identity, his face altered with his stretching ability. Using scavenged parts, he works on a device meant to restore Ben to human form. Before he can finish, the military tracks his signal and storms his hideout. Reed sprints into the woods, twisting his body to avoid capture, but Ben intercepts him, furious over his abandonment. One powerful blow knocks Reed out cold. Back at the base, Reed wakes in a holding cell. Sue comes to see him, urging him to help finish the teleportation device, their only chance of returning to Planet Zero and finding a cure. Reed warns her the military only seeks more power, not a cure, but her determination eventually wins him over. In the lab, Reed studies the machine, adjusting its systems and correcting their flawed code. Dr. Storm visits Johnny, telling him Reed has returned and that a cure might be within reach. Johnny refuses to consider losing his powers, insisting he was always meant for something greater than racing cars. The military wastes no time. Fully geared soldiers step into the machine and teleport to Planet Zero. But the alien world looks different now, its surface unstable, shimmering with dangerous energy. While collecting samples, they detect a heat signature. A lone figure approaches, it's Victor, and he's alive. They bring him back and attempt medical treatment. When questioned, Victor describes how the planet's energy kept him alive. His tone turns cold as he warns them he will not allow anyone to exploit Planet Zero. Without hesitation, he kills Storm's superior, causing the facility's power to fail and alarms to blare. As chaos erupts, Victor moves through the corridors, killing scientists and guards with ease. Reed and Ben step into a hallway lined with bodies. Meanwhile, Victor heads for the teleportation device. Dr. Storm tries to stop him, but Victor calls Planet Zero his true home and kills Storm in front of Sue and Johnny. Entering the machine, Victor vanishes back to the alien planet. Once there, he opens a massive rift, an energy vortex that begins pulling Earth into destruction. The group is forcibly transported to Planet Zero, where they confront him. Johnny charges first but is quickly overpowered, his flame smothered by rocks. Ben attacks next, only to be buried under massive boulders. Reed tries reasoning with him, but Victor insists he is no longer Victor, only Doom, before immobilizing Reed as well. On Earth, the black hole tears at the atmosphere. Seeing his friends in peril, Reed forces himself free, tackling Doom and throwing him down the cliff. The others break loose, realizing they must work together to win. They strike Doom in quick succession. Reed's punch sends him reeling, Johnny burns away his defenses, Ben delivers a crushing blow and Johnny destroys the pillars stabilizing the rift. The black hole collapses, tearing Doom apart. The four escape just as the rift seals shut. Back on Earth, they help a nearby town recover from the chaos. Days later, the military thanks them for saving the planet and grants them their own facility in exchange for occasional assistance. Standing together, Reed suggests they need a name. The others agree, and in that moment, the Fantastic Four is born. Please make sure to like, comment and subscribe for more notifications. Until next time. See you soon.